Hey everyone, welcome to something different. Today, the demo of Outriders. This is a new looter shooter in the vein of things like Destiny, The Division, Borderlands, Anthem, LoL, among others, that is being made by People Can Fly while being published by Square Enix. This game, in my humble opinion, has some interesting appeal to it that could lead to a game with a lot of potential for both fun and content, which is why I decided to talk about it today. Since I am taking a small break from Path of Exile and having played plenty of looter shooters in my younger years, I figured I had enough of a background to give this game a go and give my honest opinions on the demo before the full release on April 1st. Yes, that is the release date. I don't know, sometimes it do be like that. Anyways, being totally honest, I've rewritten this first impressions script a few times already, mostly because it keeps coming out as a reviewer that robotically tells you the good, the bad and the verdict of a demo. Because I don't want to sound like a talentless hack, I've decided to tackle this in a different manner. I am gonna tell you what I liked and why, while also telling you why I have faith in a game like this. Having said that, remember that this is just a demo, that while it may represent the final product, it is in no way, shape or form the full game, so things may end up being different later on. So hey, if you are new around here, be sure to subscribe to the channel, otherwise I'd like to read your thoughts down in the comments. With that said, let's discuss Outriders. Let me preface this by telling you that you're definitely not playing this game for the story. I appreciate the attempt at writing a compelling story with serious characters, but from the little tidbit that we got to experience in the demo, I gotta say that it comes out as corny and to some degree some of you are going to find it cringy. So you're more than likely coming here for the looting and shooting, the build possibilities and gameplay loop, which in my opinion the demo does deliver, albeit with some limitations. There are 4 classes to choose from with their unique playstyles, abilities and mechanics. The Technomancer, a gadget and ranged class, the Pyromancer, a fire-casting mid-range class, the Trickster, a close-quarters hit-and-run class, and the Devastator, another close-quarters tank. Each class has a skill tree, which we could barely interact with during the demo alongside a unique set of skills, which again were limited because the demo has some limitations. But the things that we could interact with showcased what sort of depth we can expect from the full release. I spent my playtime as a Technomancer, since I like the life leech from all damage dealt alongside a more ranged playstyle. As I ventured throughout the demo, I reached the level cap of 7 and the world tier cap of 5, and also came across a couple of gear pieces that enhanced my experience enough to get hooked. The Technomancer is all about range, as I said, alongside quote-unquote supportive skills. One of these skills that you can use in the demo is Blighted Rounds, which give a magazine of your currently equipped weapon a poison damage over time effect. Since it's the demo and the overall loot offering is a bit limited, the damage over time is nothing groundbreaking, especially single target wise. Having said that, once you start combining your skills with modifiers on the armor and certain weapon bases, you start putting together something resembling a build. Groundbreaking, I know. In all seriousness though, here's my example. I found pants that give Blighted Rounds an additional magazine before going into cooldown, alongside gloves that gave my character a 30% increased crit damage while using Blighted Rounds. In combination with a scopeless sniper rifle that happened to roll additional crit damage, I found this combination competent enough to kill the demo's boss in under 15 seconds. Other lesser bosses were getting beaten equally as fast with a similar setup. Now, I didn't find any helmets that boosted the Blighted Rounds DPS further, but there is also a mod on body armors that gives you a heal for 40% of the damage dealt by the Blighted Rounds at the end of the skill effect. That one can be helpful when clearing around stuff, but I also learned from posting a clip from this very setup on the subreddit that there is a mod that increases the damage against enemies inflicted with Blighted Rounds. That would have come in handy for this entire quote-unquote build. But looking through a larger scope, things like this are what give games like this one potential. I like when these RPG looter shooters offer that synergy between gear, skills and weapons. Mainly because I spent a lot of time on Path of Exile doing the exact same thing, so I guess I can consider it familiar territory. Granted, I am hopeful that the depth and variety of builds goes even deeper on the full release, even more so once you start taking legendary weapons into account, allocating points in the skill tree and overall grinding for better gear. But so far, I like what I see, this feels fun to play, so from my part it gets a solid thumbs up. Just to quickly go over the graphics, since, you know, there's the story, the gameplay and the graphics to take into account, the game does have its beautiful environments, but as I heard some dude mention on a stream, you cannot expect me to like the graphics of a game if the area you showcase on the demo are the slums. And I agree, huge missed opportunity by having us run around in mud, especially when the prologue has a nicer looking environment. Having said that, the game is not without its flaws. For a cover shooter, the cover sure as hell doesn't like when your character wants to use it. That needs to be fixed, because you do get unhairy situations from time to time, and the unresponsiveness of the cover mechanic can and will get you into trouble. The game's optimization does leave a lot to be desired. Granted, my PC is no professional content creator rig, but I will expect a game like this to never drop below 60 FPS, maybe 50, but this game sometimes drops below that and it does get jarring. It also crashes from time to time, and that is also concerning, mainly because the demo is a representation of the final product and having random ass crashes is not going to look good on it. I did get a glitch or two, but nothing truly groundbreaking in that regard. So with all of that said, having the negatives in mind but prioritizing the positives for now, I do genuinely think that this game has potential to gather a following, unlike, you know, Anthem that recently got its final nail on its coffin. And I say this because the game is not a live service, it is not being marketed as a live service, it is a one and done game, you know, like they used to be 10-ish years ago. The game has a 40-ish hour campaign, as the devs mentioned on some of their official video commentaries, alongside a quote-unquote expansive endgame that promises not recycled content. Now that's a jab to certain games in this genre if I ever saw one. However, the reason I am hopeful for this one is due to the fact that the first taste of the game that we've got was a demo, not a beta, that hardly sees any change on the full release, that some of these developers nowadays have been putting out that is just a glorified marketing strategy to secure pre-orders. This being a demo is a representation of the final product, gives you an idea what to expect and not to give yourself wacky ideas of what is or isn't on the actual game. And personally, I like seeing that sort of confidence from developers in their product. Sure, the game is a bit rough around the edges. The story is there, and it could use some work in the optimization department, as we mentioned previously. But I wanna say that I can give this a pass considering my experience with it. And I know that not everybody likes third-person cover-based shooters, as I've read a lot of criticism in that regard towards Outriders. And you know what? I personally do not mind that. Sure, I am not the greatest fan of these kinds of games, but I am willing to go past if the gameplay is fun, which, as I've said throughout the video, I did find Outriders fun. I guess it's both a combination of burnout on other games and playing something new that really got me hooked on the demo, and I genuinely cannot wait for the full release. Having said that, I'd recommend giving this a try before making up your mind. It is definitely not going to be for everybody, it's definitely not a Destiny killer, nor is it the game. But I can see it being a fun experience. And depending on how fun and smooth the end game ends up being, we might see more of it in the channel. But we're still a month away, so there's still time to think it over. With that said, that's gonna be it for me today. Thank you so much for watching tonight's content. We'll be back to our regular schedule later this week. Take care, have a nice start to your week, and peace out.